So I'm renovating my whole house basically, and I'm starting in this room. I have it all painted. I've changed out some of the other accessory components, but it's time to change out the outlet because you know old outlets, they become loose, things don't stick in them anymore. I thought it'd be a nice chance to show you how to completely install these BESTTEN, just really simple white outlets. They do also come with a matching faceplate, which is white, and the screws are painted white as well. So I'm going to walk you through the complete installation process, how to do it, how easy it is to do, and just some things to watch for. It's very, very simple. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first part is pretty simple, and people are going to tell you different things for this. Make sure you turn off your circuit for these outlets. In order to check that, I just plug in like a power block, make sure I turned off the correct one. Some people are going to say you don't have to do this, but I'm always better safe than sorry. So do it, don't do it. That's just all I suggest to get started. Let's walk through the process of taking the old one out, installing the new one with the faceplate. So step one is pretty simple. Grab a screwdriver, take off your old one. Again, make sure you turn off that power. I slightly painted over my old one, so it might be a little harder to remove, but once we get off some of that paint, we should be in business here. Okay, now that we got the screws out, we just got to pull it out, and you're going to see we have some wiring back here. So we got two black wires, which are our live. We have our white, and we have our ground right here. So we're going to have to unscrew all four of these terminals before we get started installing the new one. Okay, now we got the old one removed, and we have to get started putting in the new one. Now you're going to notice these wires are very curled. You can leave that. You could also trim these off if you have enough wiring and use fresh wiring. These look fine to me, so we're just going to stick with it. There's no rust, there's no imperfections in it. So we're going to unbox our one here, which is from BESTTEN. So this is just a simple modern replacement. It does stay, it should be pretty easy for you to understand which one's top. It's obviously facing up, right? So you want to make sure those are accurate. Now on the back here, it is going to tell you which ones are your hot and which ones are your white. So right here on this one, so right here it says our hot wire and this one says our white. There's two different methods to connect these. We can either connect them to these terminals right here, or they have these little slots here where we push our wires into, and these are the fast connection. So it's the quicker method. Now, if you're using the fast connection, I suggest trimming off your old ones because they're all curled up, and it's easier if you just have a straight wire in there that's the exact size. So we're gonna do the fast connection instead of using these screws. In this case, the screws are completely useless. I just like to tighten them up so they stay out of the way of the main units. So you can just go ahead and screw these back into place. So we have some simple wire cutters right here, and we're just going to go ahead and chop off our old ones. Again, make sure you have enough wiring for the new connection, and I'm just chopping it off just at where that kind of curl ends there. So we get a nice, fresh, straight piece. And now just take your wire strippers, and you can go ahead and just figure out which one works. And you just want about 1/4 of an inch, I would say maybe 1/2 inch max. You don't really need any more than that. Now that we have all that done, let's take our new outlet, which we have right here. We already know this side is our black, this one is our white. So you're going to take your white first, because we have them right here. You're going to take it and you just go into that hole, and all you have to do is push into it until you can't go anymore. That's going to click it into place. So you can see there, I can pull it, it's not going to remove. Now to remove it, you have to put a little pin in there and that will remove it. So that's the only way. This is just a way quicker method. Now we go to the other white one. Now we can put in our hot wires, and we want to connect our ground. So for your ground, just take it and wrap it around that screw a little bit. And now for this one, we do have to tighten up that screw. And that's just going to lock the ground into place. Now we just got to stuff our wires back in, just do it carefully, and your screws are just going to go right into the same spot in the electrical box that's already in there. So you can take your screw, and we just want to
make sure it's right in place there, and we can start to screw that in slowly into that same electrical slot. So now that we have those two screws in, we have to take our face plates. So make sure you have some sort of face plate. This one came with it. It has the front cover and two little screws, which also have white paint. This should be fairly easy. You're going to line it up. You can make sure it is centered before you do any touches there. And that looks pretty good to me. So we're going to put our screw in there. This is a flathead, which is perfect because it's what we have. And there we have it. Now you can see I scratched a little bit of paint right there, so I'm gonna have to touch that up. But now we can go and we can turn it on and see how well it runs. So we are all done. Now we just have to check to make sure it works. So I have a power plug in here. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in. Nice tight outlet. We can see the white light on there. And we can go to our phone and we can see right there 28%, so it is charging. So we do have a charge. It's a nice looking outlet, really tight design, definitely perfect for renovating rooms.